We're here.
Good morning, everyone. Today is the 15th of October. Uh, People who don't know it, 15 is a very common number in the birthdays in our household, the large events, uh, wedding, day I met my wife.
Oh,
But
wow.
today is my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, Christina. She's going to be 30 today. Uh, Everybody, please put where you're watching from in the chat. And what are we giving away today?
We are giving away a packet of carnivore bars. You are welcome to have the regular kinds, or they are releasing the apple pie. So you're welcome to try that if you like, which has a little bit of apple and a little bit of honey. But if you just want regular carnivore bar, you're getting a pack of 6. I bought a pack when I was at Meat Stock, and I figured, oh, okay, I'm going to keep these in the fridge until my next like travel with Dr. Kilt, so I have food on the airplane. My kids literally ate them in 2 days.
I bought a couple of their new flavors. One of them I think it might have a little bit of honey. It's not a lot, and the other one was I think a taco flavor. Like it was
Did you like it?
uh
It was fajita.
fajita. Okay,
Yeah.
uh, I like them. They're okay.
Yeah, I told them
So
they need to be spicier because they wanted my feedback. They were testing them out at Streamer, and I
uh
said
huh.
if it needs to be spicier. But
I guess that will give it a little bit of a little kick. I don't
yeah,
mind spicy. I love eating spicy. Doesn't love me back if I have it
I know. It
too
doesn't love you
much.
back.
But I have some
Here he is.
uh, Carolina Reapers, I think, or ghost peppers in my refrigerator.
Oh, what happened?
So,
I don't know why he's not showing up. Hey, Philip. Well,
Philip, for some reason, you're
oh, here he
there. We
is.
go.
We've literally already been talking about carnivore bars for 2 minutes.
Oh, cool.
So you guys are releasing your apple pie, right?
Yes.
And what is that for people that are like, oh no,
I'll
that
be
has
right
fruit in
back.
it. Okay, that's fine. Oh no, it has fruit in it.
And Alia, if you have any
Mhm.
announcements, maybe.
Oh, I will. I'll let you answer that question first about the inspiration for apple pie.
Yeah. So is my audio
Yeah, you're good.
working?
You're good. Yeah,
I
I
don't
can
think
hear
my
you.
speakers are working, but that's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
If
Okay,
you
yeah,
can
I
hear
hear you.
me, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Apple pie is basically just pemmican with a little bit of apple in it. So,
Like for the people that are so concerned, how many carbohydrates is in it?
I think you're right to be concerned. Anyone comes up with a product, you should be concerned. And
Yeah.
then you just evaluate the facts and see if it fits your macros and fits your diet plan. There's 12 grams of carbs total. Now, we don't believe in the fiction of net carbs.
Okay.
That's 12
Yeah.
actual carbs. So there's 3 grams of fiber, but we're not going to do any like complicated marketing math. We
Yeah.
just believe in truth and honesty. And so
Yeah.
this is more of an animal based bar. But if you are not super strict carnivore, there shouldn't be any reason. We get organic apples from Poland. And,
Oh wow.
I had to go that far to find apple that wasn't contaminated with rice flour or sugar or preservatives or anything like that, which for me would be a no go. Like,
Right.
I'm willing to compromise and consider other things than just meat, but it's
Yeah.
it's a very fine band. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to have any stabilizers or fillers or preservatives or crap in the bar and still be a carnivore bar, even if you know even if it has some plants. Those plants are going to be fruits that are designed evolutionary to be eaten.
Hmm. There you go.
Honey heat,
Honey
that
heat.
we're actually doing apple pie.
Yeah. Oh, these are the ones that he has.
These are the ones that I have because I bought a
Ah,
box recently. So
so
these are not regular flavors though, right? You
no, we've actually discontinued those. So this
yeah.
is
Uh-oh.
the
We
launch of apple pie. The launch of apple pie, we but it was really hard to find the apple. So I was just discussing like why it's difficult to find uncontaminated pure apple, and so we weren't sure if we could make enough of them. So we discontinued it after the fall season because like our pumpkin spice, so to speak, and we're bringing it back because the demand for it was just outrageous.
That answers this question. So Rick is avidly against apples. Why would anyone make it taste like an apple? Because people wanted it. There you go,
Well,
Rick. People wanted
the
it.
meat doesn't taste like apple. The apple tastes like apple.
Yeah.
So it's if you're animal based, this makes the bar delicious. So as a zero carb carnivore, I was tired of making something that most people on the street would spit out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So carnivores absolutely love beef and tallow, even unsalted, right? But your average person is going to go, ooh, gross. So you can't give it away. But it takes millions of dollars to create this thing and to make a product that your average person on the street doesn't like is, oh man, it's hard on you as a creator because you want to make something that everybody loves. But as a carnivore, you want to make something that you can actually eat. And so there's two extremes pulling you. And I think that we've made something that's a little bit more inclusive, that is still more than 30 grams of fat. It's a little under 20 grams of protein. So it's still really satiating. 12 grams of carbs that may be too much for some people, especially from the zero carb space. But other people, they, would love for it to be sweeter. And I'm like, this is as far as I feel comfortable going. The 12 grams is split between apple and raw honey. There's just the same amount of raw honey as we put in the honey salted, which is just a little bit. But the idea of these bars is that you get full before you've gone over your allowance of carbs.
Yeah. I was just telling right before we got here, like I bought a box from you guys that made stock. And I'm like, okay, they're going to literally sit in my fridge until I have to travel again with Dr. Kiltz. So I have some food for the flight. And my kids ate them in 2 days.
Yeah, I mean,
all 6 or whatever was left.
I look at it as like an extremely well-produced tactical tool. Like,
yeah,
I was a soldier. I made this so that when you're away from your base of support, you have something that is absolutely something you can count on with your life, that you know what's in it. Yeah. Beef tallow salt. That's what I wanted in it. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. And there's lots of stuff that manufacturers don't have to tell you. But if you have somebody like me who's actually a carnivore, who cares about this passionately and would get sick if I added anything to my own food, you know that I'm not going to add anything. And I have a reputation and people talk. So you only get away with that once. And I'm just never going to do it. So as long as the carnivore bar exists, we're going to create food that is what it says it is.
Yeah, I love it. And I like it. I cooked some ground beef a couple of weeks ago and there was like a ton of tallow left in it. And I was just eating the tallow after it like got cold. I'm like, oh my God, I need a carnivore bar. Like it tasted like a carnivore bar.
Well, there's lots of debate of, too high fat, not high fat enough. I have overdone it on fat, but it's rare. Oftentimes when I'm just eating out or eating casually or eating at friends' houses and then they've lovingly prepared me food, my macros tend to go too lean and I tend to lose energy. My mood gets terrible and I'm like, man, there's just something I'm not getting. And so when you have something that's really fatty, you're like, oh, thank goodness. That was the lights bulbs are back on again. Now I'm like, I'm okay.
Yeah, I love that. I didn't make my announcements yet, so I gotta jump in with a few announcements. At Hack Your Health, on Friday, 11/14, we are doing like a little meetup at Terra de Gaucho at 7 p.m. I'm not selling tickets for this event. You can just come. However, I would like you to put yourself on the RSVP list so I can reserve enough tables. So I put the form into the chat, so please sign up for that. And I got an
And
email
Alia,
from my
the
friend who's not
reason
happy that I did not invite them. I have to say this. So please spread this link around everywhere. I don't mean to
and
not invite my friends. I'm just kind of sometimes
and
I
the
forget.
reason we're not selling tickets is because everyone will pay for their own right there.
Oh yeah, I gotta say that you're paying for your own dinner. That's why we're not selling tickets this time around. Also, Dr. Kills will be hosting probably a party at his house on December 12th and possibly an event the next day. So I'm working all that out, but just Floridians and everywhere around the world, just to let you know. And then my last thing is that the Kills Health Coaching course starts today at 3 p.m. Eastern. Some people have been confused about the time. I'm so sorry if there's been any confusion. 3 p.m. Eastern today. The first call is with me, and I will again send out the Zoom link. And if you had any emails from me, I've clearly written this down. Please check your emails. Thank you. That's all. Dr. Nelson. And next week, the calls with Dr. Nelson. Same bat time, same bat place.
That channel.
Bat channel.
I'll be there today as well.
Oh, you will? Okay.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
And I'm springing a big change on you. I haven't told you about, but
oh gosh, you should probably
I'll
tell
tell
me
you
now.
later.
Oh, you'll tell me later. Oh goodness.
Sounds dubious.
Yeah, wait, we're about to start a course. I have. Oh, here, Angela has a question for you, Philip. Is the texture different than the last time you released the apple pie bar?
That's a great question. So, because we make every bar by hand, it is always a little different. But we've done everything we can to make it pretty identical. So I don't think you'll notice a difference, but there is a difference. So I notice because it's really, really fine tuned. I'd say that we have a little bit of the OG apple that we're using in this bar. So those bars should taste identical, all other things being equal. The tallow temp hitting our perfect mark, everything getting perfectly dry, should be exact. But, even if it's, the first scoop off the top where it's hot and piping from the kettle versus the last scoop is slightly different, variation. I don't know if I'll ever go mainstream with a huge operation. I rather like doing it by hand so that way I can see and know what's in every single bar. But at the same time, that does limit the scalability. So I think it's going to be 90%. 90% of exactly what you remember.
Awesome. And then there's a question for Dr. Nelson. Good morning. If having stomach issues, pain, not gallbladder, would meat or fat or enzymes or fasting be better to eat? Thanks.
Well, first of all, you need to probably find out what it's causing the pain, because there could be many issues. If it's not the gallbladder, that means you're probably not having any problems eating fat. Meat and fat, I don't find it heavy on the stomach, to use a colloquial expression. I do find very, very, very extremely well cooked meat to be heavy for me to digest. But not knowing all the details, I wouldn't be able to tell you. If you having pain hasn't been diagnosed as to what's causing the pain, you might want to go on and check with your doctor. But I don't think eating fatty meat would cause problems. of course, I'm pretty sure you have tried, and you can give us feedback whether that is causing any difficulty.
Okay, cool. And George, good enough for you. Philip, will you be at the Rendezvous City Beef Roundup 2026?
So yeah, unfortunately they canceled this year. I don't know if I'll be there in 2026.
Look who it is.
We Hey Doc.
Hey all, how's it going? I'm in Lisbon. I've been here for a couple hours. I thought I'd sign in and say hello.
Hello.
We're on vacation, and I just wanted to just say thank you to Alia and Dr. Nelson for continuing this, and thank you for what you're doing. I just shared the carnivore board to all of our team yesterday at CNY Fertility Syracuse. They were much appreciative. And then,
Oh, great.
and then I had a team doing some filming from Scotland, and Mikey, their 12-year-old son, just like he said, "Okay, I'm taking these." Loved them. So the apple pie was really good, by the way. So
Awesome.
just grateful to you. I'll let you guys keep on going. I just listen a little bit and chiming in as I can. I may be leaving shortly for breakfast.
Have fun. Hi,
Thanks.
Dr. Kills. Let's see. Does anyone have any other questions for Dr. Nelson or Philip or not
Or for Dr. Kiltz?
or not for Dr. Kiltz or me? Karen says to enjoy your vacation. There you go. So what time is it there in Lisbon? It's like 10 a.m.
11 a.m.
11
11:15.
a.m. Okay, nice.
Well, that's a great example for why we made the apple pie. People were asking earlier. It's like you never know who you're going to give it to. If you're going to give it to a random non-carnivore, like we want to create a gateway drug. Get people more meat-based, more. It's like, hey, have you tried eating more saturated fat? Hey, have you tried eating grass-finished beef? It's like, if you feel better, then great. God bless. This is exactly what we're here for.
Well, if you look at Schlank's book from the 1940s, Eat Meat 3 times a day, it really is focus on meat. It'll help you be healthier. You could still consume some of the other things, obviously whole foods, and that's important. But I'm a carnivore. I've been talking more about softer story, inclusiveness, shining the light, and if we can get more people to understand the value and nutritional value of meat, and Simon was sharing how important carnivore bar like products are, and this particular one that I shared with them, really enjoyed it. Is that it's that it used to be the candy bar you had in your case. Now it's a nutritional food that have been around for thousands of years as pemmican essentially. So it's we got to think about eliminating all the food noise and sticking to a very narrow idea that meat is a masterful meal for humans and helps them heal, and having carnivore bar takes the place of what we used to think is a candy bar. But yeah, I will have a cookie, cake, or ice cream sometimes. I enjoy the apple pie sometimes. And the carnivore bar apple pie is, I add a little stevia to our electrolyte. I love it. People love it. I don't think it's like, oh, you can never have these things. So I think there's a huge world out there that we want to introduce to meat and carnivore, and we don't want to narrow it by saying, oh, if it's all, you can only do meat. That's it.
Well said.
Yeah, exactly. Next question. Let's see. Does Dr. K think carnivore was a cause in any way to his CAC score being so high?
Well, I'm 70. But my 1966 Volkswagen Bug, already when I had it in the 70s was wearing out, and by today. So look at, I don't blame anything at all. I mean, we're alive, we're all going to die, and all these testing things might say we have some pathology developing, but we don't know how much or when it's going to hit us anyway. When the good Lord says it's time, I'm with him. I have no qualms about passing to the next level. I think we're energy, but no, I don't think carnivore. I think life is just life. We're living it, and you eat something, and there's always going to be something happening in our body. So I don't blame. I think carnivore is still the healthiest thing for all of us. Do you have to do it all the time?
No. All right. Let's see. Why isn't there a pumpkin spice carnivore bar?
So pumpkin doesn't actually go that well with meat. When you think, someone asked earlier, why make meat taste like apples? It's like, well, you're thinking of complementary flavors, and pumpkin, especially spice, there's a lot of anti-nutrients and a lot of that heavy spice. And then I don't know if someone would make it clean enough. And the third reason is I don't want it to taste like a candle. Not everything. The reason that pumpkin spice at like Starbucks tastes so dang good is like the 60 grams of sugar that they add to sweeten up all that, potpourri that you're drinking. It's like, so, there's certain things that apples, evolutionarily, I can see the case for why we were, apples are part of our natural food that we would have occasionally. But there are some things in pumpkin spice that are just really difficult to, recreate an ancestral landscape.
Makes sense.
Add a little bit of pumpkin. I'm sorry, potatoes. Potatoes and beef and potatoes. That's sort of the standard. I guess that could be a standard, but it's supposed to be a lot of meat, small amounts of apples or potato, or again, it's squash. A pumpkin is a squash. The spice is different, isn't it? But
it is.
If someone wanted to enjoy it and sprinkle a little on their carnivore bar, go at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's another question. Dave on the record. Can a hemifacial spasm improve on carnivore? Any tips?
Inflammation, anytime you have spasm, there's inflammation. And I would always say that fatty meat, rare to raw, little salt, electrolytes are going to help. Get a facial massage, that'll help too. But inflammation, and I think that carnivore does help with all of it, and throwing a carnivore bar. Anything else? Maybe a little acupuncture, anything, light therapy. What else, Dr. Nelson?
Well, certainly I don't think it would hurt. So give it a try and see if it helps. I don't have any doubts that you can try for anything. Will it work on everything 100% of the time? Probably not. But I continue to be impressed every time I hear new problems being improved with carnivore, and whether it's because you're still having some, keto is good. If you stay especially if you stay under 20 to 30 grams a day, you can have a lot of healing, a lot of improvement. But there are some people who are so metabolically sick that need to go lower. Okay. I don't tolerate too many carbohydrates, so I need to stay within my lane personally.
Kaleidoscope Mind says, nah, my pumpkin spice hamburger patty slap.
Maybe I should be open-minded. I don't know. Maybe we'll fool around and see if we can do something.
Ew, that's got to be a joke. That's got to be unreal.
But you mentioned real problems sometimes with adding certain foods, and there are certain vegetables that are rich in a certain amount of antioxidants or vitamins, but then we come to find out they also contain the anti-nutrients to absorb that. Spinach, very high in iron. You can absorb most of the iron from spinach because it comes with the anti-nutrient that stops the absorption. So is it good for you? Loaded with oxalates? Probably. If you can tolerate it, have at it. So I don't think you're coming with any spinach flavor carnivore bars anytime soon, right?
No, no, no. I'm trying to be
No.
very careful about the things I add. You know, blueberry is something I've thought to add, a berry of some sort. You know, Native Americans would make their pemmican for ceremonies. They would make a berry version, or to sell to Europeans. You know, when they were making it for us and our palates, they added more sugar for us in the form of berries. But I don't want that to compromise the shelf stability. You know, there's no preservatives to rest on. Everything has to be 100% dry in order to go in the pemmican, and it has to be high fat to also be edible. You know, so
Right.
I've got to balance those things.
All right. Well, I got a request. What about bacon? The bacon add bacon to it. Have you thought of that?
Bacon bar, yes. Last time we tried it, it fell apart. It wouldn't
Oh,
hold
okay.
structure. So
With like little
you need
bacon
a
bits? With like just little bacon bits?
Carnivore bits.
we could play around with bits, but I'm thinking whole foods. So I start from a whole foods perspective.
Oh, yeah.
And so I don't want any of the preservatives or corn solids or some of the other
yeah, I don't want that either.
stuff that they put on bacon bits. And then so I'd be making my own bacon bits by hand. So the fatty acids in a pig versus the fatty acids in tallow are very different versus even in the same animal on a cow, the suet versus the drippings. Like the bottom of what you slow cooked a brisket, that is not tallow. That is melted fat. That is not tallow.
Yeah.
Tallow is like stiff at room temperature. So like that's what I want to make the pemmican out of. I don't want you to open a bar and just pour it out. Like that's not there's a lot of reasons that's not going to work, even though some people would love it. And so the fatty acids, you really have to find like a pig that was fed a healthy diet that doesn't have too much omega-6, that doesn't have too much PUFA, and that has a tallow or a lard that sets up.
Okay, I understand.
Are you going to be Hack Your Health?
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone come by the booth and get some carnivore bars.
Free samples.
Oh, I'll be there.
And we're doing a raffle to win an ammo box. We're doing a bunch of fun stuff.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we're like less than a month away from Hack Your Health.
It's right around the corner. Time flies.
It's so crazy. Now I'm coming up with all these ideas. What about an egg carnivore bar? I'm just joking.
Never say never.
Never say never. Dr. Kiltz or Dr. Nelson, I have colitis and histamine issues, eating lion since May 1st. Keep my meals frozen. Still have histamine. BM? What's BM? BM issues.
Bowel movement.
Okay, thank you. Any supplements I can take to help?
Well,
I always love.
this is interesting. So this is where raw milk, raw kefir, and raw yogurt may come in a little bit. Some fasting certainly, and it might be time for a culture, because I had colitis for like 10 days, and I took ivermectin and Flagyl and fasted, and then I threw in some raw yogurt and I took some Akkermansia, which I don't normally take probiotics, but I think once there's some value in replenishing those bugs, and so it might be worth getting checked if you haven't had a colonoscopy, or just get checked anyway. But I would say it's sort of dysbiosis maybe going on for you more than anything. And have you tried raw fatty meat with salt instead of cooked? And look at Podger's work. But I would say colitis usually means inflammation, even infection, and it may be time for antibiotic, antifungal, antiviral, anti-parasitic. Anything else, Dr. Nelson? Maybe some raw butter I love.
No, I'm sure you're already doing many of the things that keep the histamine issues low. Some people have to go to the extreme and have only beef and try to get it as fresh as possible to your table, freeze it or whatever.
Yeah, I think she said she's trying to do that since May 1st.
Angela Lero. It's a really great meat mine. Angela Lero's, because she does Millie Doe lamb, and she's going to be real specific of where she gets it.
Yeah.
And I think it's that glycocalyx glycobiome. Different meats are affected by what the animals are eating, and then how you're cooking it, and all those things.
Yeah,
I put a link in the comments to link Devoki's video, because it's excellent, 45 minutes, and she goes through the whole thing, all the issues related to histamines. It's excellent. So it's in the chat, the link.
And I think most of the histamine problem is we're eating things that incite histamine release from our body, from our white cells.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Some people are just more sensitive to those things than others.
Yeah. Phil, did you have a comment?
Sorry.
I was going to say, we age grass-fed beef. Most countries age their grass-fed beef. Sometimes that can cause a histamine issue as well.
Yeah.
So if you think about not only what the animal ate, but how it was prepared. If you can find someone doing grass-fed, grass-finished, but not aging it, that's rare, because generally it's less tender. And it's well, we have strong jaws. We don't care about the tenderness. We want the histamine lower, and so DAO enzymes, things like that. There's a lot of different ways, but I think what you guys said was spot on. I just wanted to chime in with the aging thing.
Absolutely. So, find a local rancher or local butcher shop. Angela lives in Los Angeles, so she goes to a specific butcher shop and gets the meat as fresh as possible. And also,
think about it. All the animals, all the cattle, it's processed and hung. And what other animal, kills and then waits, 21 days to eat their meat?
Yeah. It's just sitting there. It's sitting there. And as the enzymes work on it, it's getting softer and softer. I mean, that's what they're going for.
And the microbes.
The microbes and are basically working on it.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Dr. Nelson, have you found eating when hungry works for you? That is also asked you fast. There's a few words here. Okay. Is it also asked, do you fast a planned time, or do you say, I will not eat today, I'm not hungry?
I've done it all. So yes. I try to eat only when I'm hungry. However, I'm usually the cook at home, and sometimes it's time to eat. I'm cooking for a couple of other members of the family. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and eat. But the best, yes, you wait until you're hungry, and then you eat, you get full, you stop, don't eat until you're hungry again. Usually, most of the time, I can eat only once a day. Yesterday, for some reason, right after the live, I had some ribeye steaks in the which I bought from these people before. Yesterday I had the most tender ribeye steak I've ever had,
Ooh,
and
invite us over.
so and I don't know, it was 8 o'clock or something like that. So of course I did eat later in the day. But yeah,
Yeah.
don't eat if you're not hungry. You don't need to eat, right? Sometimes because it's that it's 12 or it's 6 or it's 5. It's time for eating, and then you're consuming food. Your body's not asking you for it at the moment. Like Dr. Kills likes to mention, if you're doing laundry, you wait until that load is finished, right? You don't open the door and keep stuffing stuff in.
But we're always hungry in an environment that has a lot of food in it. That's the
True.
truth, because historically, we didn't have beautiful carnivore bars or local ranchers, and with Uber Eats, and everything's delivered, and we have refrigerators, freezers, and cupboards with all of our extra stuff. I mean, as much as you need and want. And that's really our biggest problem. It's overabundance.
Absolutely.
Yes. Stephanie Boyd, new blood work results. All good except creatinine low at 0.65. Up fat and lower protein recently. Blood sugar fasting consistently mid-70s at home, but 88 at lab. Fasting insulin 5.7. HDL to 102 TG. Don't know what that is. 100. Total
Triglycerides.
So, yeah.
Triglycerides. Okay.
You're fine. You're healthy. Move on. Numbers are
And
great.
triglycerides are lower than the HDL. I wish I could get my HDL that high. And pharmaceutical companies have tried to come out with drugs, and they have not been. When they find a drug that doesn't have the side effects that raises HDL, they're gonna go nuts with that.
But they will. But again, it's a false message. You used a drug to show a number, but has proven nothing in you being healthier. That's part of the problem, right?
Yeah.
We give you a drug to be skinny, and you got to be on the rest of your life. Well, but we don't even know the value of that over the next 30 years. But we do know it's massively expensive and has side effects. And what other animal needs a drug to be skinny?
None. Let's see.
And by the way, a low creatinine causes no problems.
Also good point.
Usually, it's there might be rare occasions where there are some things related to low creatinine, but for the most part, it just fell out of the range of the bell curve that they're using to evaluate the normal ranges. It's
Question?
Dr. Hiltz? Yes.
Phil, organ meats in the carnivore bar. Are they in there at all, or have you thought about it? If not, and any other sort of additional mineral vitamin supplementation, sort of taking carnivore bar to another level potentially?
So yeah, organs were the obvious layup for that. We tried back in the day to do just organs, to make a 0 carb, spice free. It wasn't great. So the reason that the pill companies are doing really well with organs is like people seriously notice the benefits of it, but they do not want to taste it. So there's this genius chef, James, that creates this seasoning called Pluck. And so it mixes the organs with a set of special seasoning that he makes these little sachets he sells. And I said, well, he's done all the hard work. He has established brand. He has this amazing product. I'm going to take Pluck and add it to 2 of my bars. So we have a honey barbecue for animal base, and we have zesty garlic, which is 0 carb. Both of them have nose to tail nutrition. They have pluck in them. So they
Love
have
it.
a mix of organs. Now that, when I was looking at like copper, zinc, and I was looking at different things that are in liver that aren't found in muscle meat, when I'm thinking about methionine glycine ratios, the collagen or the muscle meat amino acids, it's like, oh wow, organs, like they fill in all those gaps. And so yeah, we definitely have 2 of our bars that are made with that philosophy in mind.
He was last week. Well, that was probably filmed a few months ago, but he was last week in Shark Tank.
I know.
So
so great.
awesome. Now it's your turn to get on Shark Tank, Philip.
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I wanna keep things, with high integrity, even if that means I stay humble and small. I really appreciate the community and all the wonderful people in it. I'm a little afraid to get venture capitalists involved at this point.
I'm with you because again, we all seem to be quick to make a buck, but ultimately, the most important thing is we need to stay true to our cause because it's the same thing's going to happen. It becomes a commodity, and we lose our sort of community, village, and family style, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. No Slow Gary was wondering if the apple pie carnivore bar might be a gateway drug to sugar for carnivores.
Yes, it can be. I mean, if you're a 0 carb carnivore, don't try that bar. I'll be the first to sell it. I'm selling it. It can be dangerous for people with carb addiction. It is still like 30 grams of fat. I think it's like actually 35 grams of fat. So the idea is that you'd be satiated, but if it brings up triggers, cravings for you, don't do it. I make a salted and an unsalted 0 carb fat meat bar. That's what you should have if you're tempted.
Yes.
And I'm just going back to Schlank's work again. Our problem, because the standard American diet is low fat, that's likely our biggest killer, a low fat diet. And then not truly understanding the nature of food and nutrition, because one of the things about the keto carnivore world is we talk a lot about the knowledge you gain through understanding true nutrition. And now you take control on whether or not you have that fatty bar with a little bit of honey or whatever it is from time to time. And as we bring the community into this, I think more and more people know that that's probably our ancient nature.
That's right. Lee Chia Wilder, what can you tell me about idiopathic primary lymphedema? I have excellent numbers and no heart issues whatsoever. I can't find anything online related to diet and lymphedema.
Oh yeah, who is the queen of that from the meeting?
She's the queen of lipedema, not.
Well, it's all related a little bit because the lymphatics drain the adipose tissue, and so when you have lymphatic inflammation, it damages the ability of the lymphs to drain that, which causes lipedema. And again, it's all related under the same causes: vascular, glycocalyx damage, and carnivore absolutely will help all of these.
So there are many things that I'm sure you have researched and that you might be doing that are non-diet related. You're asking about diet. I couldn't think of anything that will be more anti-inflammatory because there is inflammation related here. So it is an anti-inflammatory diet. People who are, and you were mentioning Shaban, that works with lipedema and lymphedema research, and the best diet. And I
Carl.
respect her input a lot because she is a researcher in the space. And the best diet is a low carb diet, zero carb diet for this kind of problem. So I
High
wouldn't.
fat diet. But really, we should emphasize carnivore, paleo, keto is a high fat diet, animal fat.
Right.
That's really what it is, because when you add fat, automatically you're balancing the carbohydrates and the proteins, because a high protein diet and a low fat diet is our other biggest problem, which is not good for us, which also adds to vascular, again, arteries, veins, capillaries, venules, and lymphatics inflammation. So that's a good point, Dr. Nelson.
Okay, let's see. I think we got through all the questions. Oh no. This is from Target Prime for Dr. Nelson. I think this is what you're dressing up for on 1031. So when Alia mentions Bat Time and Bat Channel, it made me realize Dr. Nelson was to wear a white and yellow tuxedo. What villain would he remind you of?
I don't remember that villain, so
Because Penguin was purple, right? Okay.
I think it was a darker, yeah.
Okay. North Dakota Carnivore, Philip, thank you for what you do for vets also. As a vet, I appreciate the discount on the bars. I like the support of those who take care of our vets.
Rex.
Yeah, and we also support affiliates. Like we designed the bar as a Kickstarter company to be community oriented. So everyone's coupon code stacks with a subscription and is the cheapest way to order. We don't want you to pay full price for carnivore bars. We have to, this is part of the game of marketing, but use the codes, support your affiliates.
Yeah. And I put I pinned the carnivore bar into the pinned comment in the chat so people can order them. But I also want to say,
well, can you order them through Dr. Kiltz and get a discount, Alia?
Yeah, that's where we're ordering them from.
And that's
today.
The link you put, right? Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, nobody wants to pay full price for anything. We're members at clubs and everything, and just have to ask, right, Bill?
Yeah. I mean, it's a commission and it is also a discount. So
yeah,
I'm getting hit twice to do this, and because that's how I intend people to buy the carnivore bars. I don't want to advance without the rest of the community. I want us to advance together.
Yeah.
And if you always have an extra couple of boxes in your cupboard, you always have those snacks for those visitors where they're looking for something to munch on. And if you say, hey, listen, if you just put a little bit of raw honey, that you can even add that little dessert if you want.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Philip, what is the shelf life?
So it's essentially unknown. We say it should last 25 years, and we use that language carefully. We haven't had a bar spoil. So if you do pemmican badly, it spoils quickly. And if you do it well, I mean, there are legends of it lasting more than 50 years, because there's no, if you seal it completely from oxygen and there's no moisture in it, you draw the activity. We were talking about enzymes and bacteria, aging things. They need moisture to thrive. So if you have a moisture-free environment, and then you also have an oxygen-free environment, and you seal it in mylar, essentially like metal, then no oxygen gets in, and so it can't unravel the fats through oxidation, and so it's really hard for it to break down. And that's kind of the genius of the Native Americans' technique. They would pack theirs in rawhide, and so it was important that they didn't let their rawhide get wet, because that. But we, with modern technology and food safety laws, we can't use rawhide. We have to think outside the box. But essentially, it should last a very long time, and that's what I needed to solve my problem with MREs, that I got terribly sick. I needed it to survive to Afghanistan. And so that was my key criteria for making this. It's like, I need meat, and I need meat wherever I might find myself, even without refrigeration.
I'll tell you my
So-
own experience with the carnivore bar specifically, because I opened one and I had it in my bag and I would never add it. I had it open in my bag for over a year because I would nibble a little bit and put it back. So over a year, and it was good. Now a year
Yeah,
is
we
not that
all-
impressive, but that was an open bar, open to the air and the oxygen. It was good for the whole time until I finished eating it.
That's
so
impressive.
if we go back in time, I mean, obviously drying meats was probably more common than pulverizing them and mixing them in certain ways. How long do you think pemmican goes back as a practice in humanity?
I think it's probably one of the very first preservation techniques. So, what you would need to get started is an open fire and some kind of vessel for the fat. So the vessel would probably have been pottery or ceramic, or even, you can cook on rock face. Like, you can get really, really primal with it. It's like, so all you're doing is you're taking the rendered fat, and you're taking the dried pulverized meat, and you're mixing it together. So stone tools, mortar and pestle. And we have fancy mortar and pestles nowadays, but literally you could have a rock and another rock, a flattish rock and a roundish rock, and you go. And so
Yeah.
when you're drying it, you hang the strips of meat over the smoke, mostly for bugs. Like, you want to get the bugs off of the food, and then you want the moisture out of it. So you apply heat relatively slowly over a campfire, hanging on sticks. Then you take that and you break it up. And when you break it up, you're allowing even more moisture to get out of the meat. Then you just make little balls with the tallow. So you're going to dip and fully soak that meat in the tallow. And so it's impregnated with tallow, sealed with tallow. And then when you put it in the rawhide bag, you would have sealed it with a sacrificial tallow cap that's oxidizing. And then you break that like a wrapper, and you throw away the oxidized piece of tallow, and you have the pristine pemmican inside. So that's 1700s. So earlier than that, then it may have looked rougher. It may have been like a wooden bowl with someone's bacon grease from previous cooking, and they just carried it with them. So, and I say bowl loosely, it may have just been like a ceramic or leather vessel that they had things in. It translates to travel grease, pemmican.
Yeah.
So it's you just imagine that travel grease and how humble that can get.
Do you render your own tallow?
Yes, I do. I have not found tallow that's high quality enough available anywhere. So I have to make it from suet myself.
Okay, render it one time, or do you do? I've heard some people who do a second, third, fourth.
You
Run.
can use water, and you can really get fancy with your tallow, especially if you want to use high heat. You can use high heat, water reduction, all kinds of stuff. But for our purposes, we're making a whole food. We're not making a cooking oil. So getting all of the collagen out of it is pretty important, because collagen holds the water. But other than that, we don't want to use high heat. We want to use enough heat to get the moisture out, but we're not interested in like nuking and destroying all the vitamins and minerals to creating a premium cooking oil. We want it to be as nutritious as possible. We're using grass-fed, grass-finished. So we also have conjugated linoleic acid. We have omega-3s. We have vitamin A. So we're not interested in like creating the perfect food cooking tallow. We want the most nutrient, softest, gently melted tallow that we can, and that's why we start from the fat. We grind it ourselves, we cut it ourselves, then render it. Then we can make sure that there's no impurities, there's no chemicals, and then there's also no hidden additives, and we can also preserve as much of that nutrition as humanly possible.
Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to stop in. And I got tonight, right, Alia?
Yep. Tonight you got a podcast to record.
All right,
I'll
text me
send
that
you the
info. Thank you.
Yep.
I love you guys. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I want to say we have like 187 people watching. I would love everyone to get a chance to get into the giveaway for Carnivore Bar. We've got 94 people. So if you haven't yet entered into the giveaway, hashtag KMT from wherever you're watching into the chat. Go Carnivore Bar. Yeah, there we go. We're down to the last few minutes here. I have a question. What's the tattoo on your hand?
Oh, so this is Feu. It means cattle is wealth. So ancestrally, the only way to make meat, last is, to basically have it on the hoof. And so if you had an animal that was not slaughtered, obviously it's very shelf stable. You just have to keep feeding it. Grass is relatively free, so livestock, especially for pastoralists, would have been wealth, and it's indicative of the Norse language. And the other alternative is very costly, very time consuming, and very labor intensive, is making pemmican. Because if you make pemmican, you basically store up the very thing that us in our community need. If you're thinking about storing up value, it's like, for us, there's a differential. Like, people run out of meat, they're like, oh, okay, I'll eat beans. It's like, well, for us, it's an existential threat. It's like, people will say, like, well, no, you don't need pemmican. It's like, well, you don't need it until you need it. Like, in Afghanistan, I couldn't get it. I had jerky shipped over without preservatives, and it spoiled. Right. And so it's like, because in order to make a jerky that you can still eat, it has to have enough moisture in it that you can tear through it. Otherwise, it's just suffering. You're just chewing and chewing and chewing. It might as well be someone's shoe. And so pemmican allows you to have that fat, that jerky that's dry enough to survive long-term travel isn't going to have, because there's almost no energy in that protein that's dry. Like, if you've been to a Love's gas station, they make real jerky, and it's almost impossible to tear through. It's like, there's 0 grams of fat in that. So you don't have any energy component. You just have the protein.
Okay. Makes sense. Leah, how long is the shelf life of the bars? We're all low-key preppers.
It should last about 25 years.
It's crazy. Somebody, J Bud said that is impossible.
If physics is like, it's the laws of physics. There are 2 vectors for food spoilage: oxygen and moisture. If there are neither oxygen and moisture, we've eaten bars that were 7 years old at this point and not spoiled. Dr. Nelson just told the story of having it unwrapped for a year. Now, if you have it unwrapped, it can oxidize, but it can only oxidize the surface. It can't penetrate through and get fully oxidized, because you only have oxidation on the very surface level, and you keep eating it. You're eating that outer level. So it's fine. But it is vulnerable to acquire moisture. Think about taking something into the rainforest unwrapped. And if it's really dry, you have all this moisture, and the concentration gradient is going to go right into the bar. So when we make the bar, we have to go to all this trouble to use stainless steel vessels and silicone seals, chemical free, to safeguard the ingredients at every single step of the processing. So we're just mechanically mixing it because we're averse or skeptical of chemical processing. We don't want any chemicals, so we have to do everything by hand. We have to use grinders. We have to use mixers. We have to use our actual hands spreading it, because that's just where we are as carnivores. We don't know what is making us sick about modern food.
Right. I gotta stop by your warehouse or your facility someday. I go.
Yeah, we're Columbia, Missouri.
Oh, awesome.
I don't know if you guys ever watched the Bearded Butchers. They
Yes.
had an episode some time ago on some pemmican they made, but they had some pemmican that was 10 years old, and they opened it, they ate it, it was fine. I mean, if someone wants proof that it's going to last 25 or 50 years, then wait around and have it then. But it's kind
So
of
that we can do a shelf life study. It's just, it takes 4 years. And so we've hesitated because it's a lot of money to allocate. And, we're trying to make the bar more efficient and more affordable. At the same time, price increases keep going up.
Right.
Since
plus
post-pandemic.
buy it and eat it. Don't buy it. I understand though. The question was about preppers, if they want to buy a supply just to keep,
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Olivia says boiling's not an issue. She eats them as soon as she opens them.
And you're welcome to do that. You're welcome to do that.
And then Amy says, I had won a carnivore bar at a meetup and carried it around in my purse. It was at a funeral. I was at a funeral reception. There were only salads and sweets. Best bar ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's those kind of moments that I experienced as a carnivore that made me want this. And it takes a week and a half to make a bar. It's not, it's very over engineered if you're just having it for having it. But if you're in one of those nothing but sweets and salad moments, it's a lifesaver. And I use the bar daily.
It says
All
it's
right.
gonna be the guinea pig. Oh yeah, we gotta do it. I'm gonna be the guinea pig.
It's 7:02.
Oh yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta do the giveaway. That went fast.
Hashtag KMT.
100 people entered. Here we go. Ron Kurtz, congratulations. You just won a box of carnivore bars. Woo! Please email me your address and with your name, and I will send it over to Philip, and he will send it out to you. There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. If somebody doesn't want the apple pie one, you could do the regular ones.
Yeah, I can do it whatever flavor you want.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Philip. Thanks for hopping on last second, because I know I emailed
Absolutely.
you yesterday.
Old Guy Carnivore.
Oh yeah, Seven, go see him. He's 3 minutes into his live stream. Everybody, go see Old Guy Carnivore.
Have a great day, everybody.
Okay. Bye, everybody.